Hey, Drew Baird here with Gary from Bryston, VP of Operations, and we're here to talk about the new BP-17 preamp, which is taking advantage of the new Q technology that Bryston's using on a lot of their new products and updating some of the older products. So he's going to walk us through and explain to us what's going on with this preamp.
So this is the brand new Bryston BP-17 cubed 2-channel preamplifier. Last year we introduced our Cube series amplifiers, but the BP-17 cubed is the first line level product that we've developed that has our Cube series technology from input all the way to output. So let's first talk about what that Cube series technology does. This is a brand new operational amplifier that we've developed that has vanishingly low distortion. At the first gain stage, there's less than 1,000th of 1% THD. All the way through this preamplifier, you can expect THD levels below 0.0015% from input to output. This is vanishingly low distortion. The whole purpose of this preamplifier is to take your source components, pass that signal along to the amplifier with the lowest distortion possible. So if you want to pick source components that have a certain sound or a certain color, the BP-17 cubed will preserve that. If the goal of your system is to have the cleanest and most linear path possible, the BP-17 cubed will preserve that as well. So let's talk a little bit about how exactly we do that. Unlike Bryston's preamplifier circuits in the past, we use a very special feedback loop in the Cube series technology that filters out specific distortion-inducing mechanisms within the unit itself. So we can identify certain areas of distortion in the preamp and literally drop those out in the gain stage of the preamp. Now, compared to the older BP-17, these operational amplifiers, because they have so many more active elements, take up a lot more physical space. The old BP-17 cubed had the entire audio circuitry contained on the back panel. The new BP-17 cubed uses much more of the real estate available in the chassis, so you've got all of the input panels connected to the back panel PCB, while all of the audio circuitry itself is contained on a separate unit directly underneath that. The power supply and the control circuitry is all located at the front of the unit, so it's kept far away from the audio circuitry. It induces very, very little noise into the circuit, and all of this performance is available at $39.95, which is significantly less than even our larger preamplifier, the BP-26.
Okay, so we're going to take a look at some of the inputs and outputs now.
So the BP-17 cubed has a full-featured front panel that gives you discrete access to any of the inputs, just from the push of a button. You've got an IR sensor, a nice big volume control, balanced left and right, which I think is an unusual feature on many preamps these days, mute switch, and of course a power switch on the front panel as well. Now with the options installed, simply pressing the select button when you've got an input selected will toggle between a standard analog input or the DA if you're using the DA inputs. So it's a pretty handy feature as well. Said another way, when you have the DA card installed as well, you can still access all of the analog inputs. Unusual for a preamplifier is not so much the fact that it has a headphone jack, but that the headphone jack on our pre is driven by a completely separate discrete operational amplifier. Lots of products will give you a headphone output that's simply a tap off of the normal preamp outs that are on the back of the unit itself. But Bryston gives you a high quality operational amplifier that will drive your headphones with extreme precision. Does it sound as good? Is it as powerful as Bryston's flagship BHA1? No. Will it still drive high quality headphones with precision, low noise, and wide dynamic range? Absolutely.
And the nice feature about the balance control is if you've got some hearing damage in one ear and you need to basically adjust the volume to equalize out the hearing loss in your ear, the balance control is going to become very important. And that's very rare on most headphone amps this day, so that's a good feature.
Yeah, and also take notice of the fact that not every listening room is perfectly symmetrical. Sometimes you need a dB or two of balance adjustment one way or another to equalize anomalies in a listening room. We can't all have dedicated listening rooms, unfortunately, so some features that add to the domestic harmony of our products I think is nice to have. Now, make note of the volume control as well. So the volume control on the BP-17 cubed has stops at 5 o'clock and 7 o'clock. It's a fully analog volume control that's microprocessor controlled. This particular volume control is exceptional because it has superb left to right channel tracking, even at very low positions on the knob. So if you've got to listen quietly sometime at night, or if you have exceptionally high sensitivity loudspeakers, you can still expect superb channel tracking on this volume control and very, very low distortion.
Let's take a look at the back panel at some of the features there.
The BP-17³ has a wide array of two-channel inputs and outputs. Turning first to the inputs, we see that there's 5 RCA input pairs available that you can use with a wide variety of source components. If you have the moving magnet phono option installed, one pair is converted to moving magnet phono input, and you can use the ground lug. If you've got the DA version installed, then a pair is useful for 2 SPDIF inputs, and then also the toslink inputs are activated as well. Unusual for this style of preamp is the 4 output pairs that are available. You've got a pair of single-ended outputs and a pair of balanced outputs. Now this is great, especially for the balanced outputs, because you can not only configure the balanced outs for variable output post-volume controls so that you can use a pair of powered subwoofers, for instance, with your 2-channel audio system, but you can flip a switch inside and use this as a fixed output so that you can run a balanced processor loop or a tape loop as well. Also on the back panel, we've got a wide variety of control options. There's two-way RS-232, so the BP-17³ works very well in the context of a home automation system. There's trigger outputs, so when you power on the BP-17³, you can also power your amplifier on concurrently. And if you've got the BP-17³ tucked away in a cabinet, an external IR receiver can be installed as well so that you can still control the unit with Bryston's optional BR2 remote control.
Now with the phono cards, I'm assuming there's one for moving magnet, one for moving coil, or is there also a combo one?
We've basically exhausted all of our available real estate in the BP-17³ with our new Cube series operational amplifiers. So the phono card is moving magnet only. If you've got a high quality turntable with a low output moving coil or a medium output moving coil, you can use Bryston's TF2 step-up transformer in between the output of that turntable and the moving magnet input of the BP-17³ to get the right amount of gain for your analog setup.
And then on the DAC section, what's the resolution it's capable of?
The DAC section can take up to 9624 PCM native through either the RCA SPDIF inputs or the toslink inputs. But at some point within the next few months, you should expect to see an announcement from Bryston with a new DAC card that will be available for this pre.
Excellent. Thank you.